People always ask me, what's the best build in 2K20? What's the best point guard build? What's the best center build? Now, I've played on probably 90% of possible builds in this game. Definitely all the popular ones. There's a few rare ones I haven't played on yet, but I'll probably get my hands on them before the end of the year. But I decided, why don't I bring you a top 5 point guard builds video? Now, there's so many different builds in the game, and I'm not going to go over how to create every single build. I'm going to just give you my top 5 and explain why I put them in this order. Now, of course, it's subjective. It depends what game mode you're playing. You know, 1s, 2s, 3s, 5v5 Pro-Am, whatever the case may be. So what I tried to do with this list is take into consideration all game modes, weigh it out, and then come up with the top 5 builds. Now, what I want to mention is, not all of these builds are actually point guard builds. This is more of a ball handler's list. Just builds you can run the point with. They don't have to actually be created at the point guard position, okay? I want to make that clear. But without further ado, make sure y'all drop a like on the video, man. It takes 2 seconds. It really helps me out. Please go down there and drop a like for me. Also, while you're down there, comment your top 5 point guard builds in NBA 2K20. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5, we have the slashing Playmaker. Now listen carefully. This is the all yellow pie chart, the pure Playmaker. If you make him correctly, he comes out to be a slashing Playmaker, okay? This is a lot of people like Bandit and Statistics. 2 of the most popular players use this build. A lot of other people use it as well. It is a really, really well-balanced build. I believe if you make it at 6'5", you get contact dunks, you get like a 95 or 99 ball handling. It is a really, really well-balanced build, and something about the playmaking builds this year is you get really, really good shooting. I mean, you see what Bandit's doing right now on this build. You can shoot super consistent with it. Another thing about this build is ever since they patched the behind the back, Hall of Fame playmaking badges are better than ever. You need that little bit of extra help to get open on a lot of builds, and having 30 playmaking badge upgrades is insane. I mean, you can have all the Hall of Fame, you know, dribbling badge, ankle breaker, space creator, all that type of stuff. And on top of it, you still can go with dimer and floor general and all that stuff to help your teammates shoot better. So it is just overall one of the best builds in the game. And definitely in terms of park builds, this is one of the most popular builds you'll see. People ISOing on the 2s. A lot of people even take this build to the 1v1 court and just go crazy because, I mean, they have to guard you. And then with the Hall of Fame playmaking badges, you're so fast you can get past them. Like I said, 6'5", I think you get contact dunks. Overall, it's just a really, really good build in terms of ISO players and having fun. Obviously, you see Bandit ISOing this whole game, and he's going absolutely crazy. So you can't go wrong. All yellow pie chart, slashing Playmaker, really fun, really well balanced build in NBA 2K20. Definitely recommend it for anyone looking to run the point. Coming in at number 4, we have the Playmaking Shot Creator. Now, I want to be specific. This is the playmaking and shooting pie chart. I know you can make this build with the all shooting pie chart, but I'm going to be honest with you. Where we are in the game now, you know, in February, almost March, there's no reason to have the all green pie chart. You're better off having the Hall of Fame playmaking badges to go along with the Hall of Fame shooting badges. I mean, people are out here banging with a 65 three-pointer. You don't need a 99 three-pointer to be, you know, to be shooting threes anymore. You just don't need it. When the game first came out, a lot of people were rocking the all green pie chart because you could fade away from half court. Even if you shot a white, it would go in. But ever since they patched that, turned the sliders down on those type of shots, and then they patched it behind the back, the playmaking and the shooting pie chart is a really, really good way to go for the playmaking shot creator. I mean, you see how glitchy you can get with the dribble moves. You can ISO. You still get like a 70-something driving dunk, so you're not going to get contact dunks, but you will dunk in traffic, as you saw right there. I mean, for the most part, it's just a really, really typical 2K build. It can shoot and it can dribble. What else do you need to run the point? A lot of people on the 3s or even in Pro-Am use this build because, you know, you can go behind screens with it. Or if you need to ISO up and cook up like that, you can have fun and break ankles. This is your typical speed boosting sharp build. Now, depending how you make it, it can be a bit of a defensive liability. You know, some people go 6'3" with only 1 defensive badge, minimum wingspan. You know, you're testing the limits defensively sometimes, but offensively, you cannot go wrong. Now, you can make a playmaking shot creator and get like 7 or 8 defensive badges depending on where you put the attributes. But either way, it's a really good build, and it takes our number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, we have the facilitating finisher. And as I said in the intro, these are not all point guard builds. Now, you can make this build at point guard or shooting guard, and it would probably say a slashing Playmaker depending on the height. but I'm talking about my build, the 6'7" slashing and finishing pie chart. It is a super good build, and in my opinion, really underrated. Whether you go with the Playmaking takeover or the slashing takeover, it's literally unstoppable. Anyone that watches my channel knows about this build. Now, I will say you can make this build in many different ways. I've seen people make it with the shooting and the playmaking pie chart, the shooting and finishing pie chart, the playmaking defending pie chart. They're all really, really good. But in my opinion, the best one overall is the 6'7" finishing and playmaking pie chart. It's so good. You get so many badges. Offensively is a complete demigod. And then you're so big and strong that your defense is still up to par. Definitely deserves the number 3 spot on this list. Would recommend it to anyone looking to handle the ball. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have the offensive threat, specifically the offensive threat that is the shooting and the finishing pie chart. Okay, now this build offensively, I mean, it's called an offensive threat for a reason. Probably the best build in the game. Shoot from half court, get contact dunks, you can speed boost, you get tons and tons of offensive badges, and depending on how you make it, I've seen people with the offensive threat that would still get 7 defensive badges. It's really, really good. I tested this build out a couple times doing NBA player videos, like a Damian Lillard video, I believe it was, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to play on the build. Now, as I said, I took into consideration every game mode when making this list, and this build really, really stands out. In competitive comp 5v5 Pro-Am, you can run pick and roll, center set you screens. You can run pick and pop. You can even run 5 out if you're really that guy on this build. In park 3v3, I mean, shoot threes, contact dunks. You can ISO. Again, pick and roll, pick and pop. It's all good. On the 2s, unstoppable. There's so much space on the 2s. As you can see right here, Quill is just going crazy. You can ISO. Same thing. Pick and roll, pick and pop. You can literally run any type of offense. Even 1v1 court. I've seen Quill, I've seen a lot of people with this build go to the 1v1 court, no matter who you play against, whether it's a big man or a guard, a lock, they have a hard time dealing with you because this build offensively has no weakness. And like I said, depending how you make it, you can even get like 7 defensive badges and still have all your offensive stuff up. It's insane what they allowed us to do this year with the offensive threats. And definitely before they patched the behind the back, you could make the argument this was the best guard build in the game, the best build to handle the ball within the game. But since the behind the back patch, I feel like this build isn't quite as good, but it's still ridiculously lethal, especially offensively. It's unstoppable. I mean, you put slashing takeover on this build and forget about it. It's like, you got to realize the slashing takeover not only boosts your dunking, but it boosts your ball handling and your 3-point shot. I don't know why they did that, but that's how it is. And on a build like that already has 80-something 3-pointer, can speed boost already, and already has contact dunks, once you get takeover, even without takeover, it's a demigod. But once you get takeover, forget about it. The offensive threat comes in at the number 2 spot on the top 5 ball handlers list in NBA 2K20, man. Definitely recommend it to anyone that's going to be running the point. Coming in at the number 1 spot is the TwoWay slashing Playmaker. You guys probably guessed it, man. It's one of the most popular, one of the most overpowered builds in the game. This gameplay here is from LaMonsta, and he's one of the people who made it, I believe, on day 1, and it's been their main build ever since. Listen, the TwoWay slashing Playmaker, how do I put it into words? The reason it separates itself from every other build right off the bat is the fact that its defense is elite. Hall of Fame defensive badges. You can get 20 defensive badges on this build. To go along with it, by the way, you get a 70-something 3-pointer, depending how you make the build. You can get over a 90 rebounding. You can speed boost. And you get contact dunks. The build has absolutely no weakness. Depending on the takeover you choose, you can go with slashing or playmaking or even lock takeover, which a lot of people are doing now. So they're running with a lock and they're running on 2-way slashing playmaker that has lock takeover. So it's basically 2 locks, but one of the locks can speed boost, shoot, and get contact dunks. It's an insane build, the fact that they allowed us to make this thing this year. The 2-way slashing Playmaker, in my opinion, has absolutely no weakness. No matter what game mode you're playing, it will hold its own. 5v5 Pro-Am, 3s, 2s, 1s, it can do it all. It can ISO, it can pick and roll, it can pick and pop, it can play off ball, it can guard the other team's best player. It can do it all. Has absolutely no weakness, man. But listen, this has been my top 5 point guards list in NBA 2K20. You guys comment down below your top 5 Also wanted to mention that all the people that let me borrow gameplay from them, I appreciate it. All your links will be in the description. So if you guys want to see more of these players, make sure y'all go down there and show them some love. But that's going to do it for today's video. I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Peace.